Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? Kevin here coming back at you with another video. Okay, so I'm working on the gauge cluster assembly for the ke102 build, and turns out I had perfect clearance for the speedometer cable, which I have on there from the ke100. Now this is the ke100 cable right here, and it's fed to the Honda MB5 gauges. Now, I don't mind mixing and matching parts and pieces, and sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I put a brand new ignition switch in it. Okay, I gotta clean it up a little bit, get some caca on it, I guess you call it. But underneath the nut, I took another nut just like this. I cut it in half, okay, thickness-wise, and ground off the edges. Then I crazy glued it underneath to go up through so it fits on there nice and snug. So then you can see what it looks like right here. So that right there is what the gauge is going to look like. Okay? So I'm using Kawasaki keys, match locks, everything. No longer Honda. You can see right here I got the Kawasaki plug, which is squished in there right now with the headlight. So let me explain to you what I'm doing here. So I'm converting the engine over to be a with a tachometer drive. Okay, so I got to do the engine. Haven't got that part yet done, but and we'll be doing videos on that, thorough videos to show you guys how to do that. But I'm using the MB5 gauges that I got from Harvey Spooner, right here from that MB5. Now, this is all going on a Kawasaki mount and everything else. The purpose of this is to show you guys that I don't mind using a lot of parts. So the charging system is a 12 volt, and it's out of an it's out of a Moto 4 80cc Yamaha. The gauges are from a MB5 Honda. The headlight, ring, and inner ring, these are from the ke100. But the headlight is not. The headlight, this glass right here, this is all from a Yamaha Virago 750, 1100, all those right there. So I did a video on this. I'm not going to get too in depth with it. There is a video on the modification on this earlier on my channel when I did a 12 volt conversion. When I was doing the 12 volt conversions, I did headlights, and I do a few of these things. And basically this is one I just did today. So I ripped off the mount because I can't keep these things. I sell these things like crazy. I ripped the mounts off. There are 3 of them, one there, one on this side, and then of course there's one down, a small one down bottom. Then I pop the chrome ring off the headlight, and then it fits right in. So this is the pigtail. See if I can pull it off with one hand. I can. This is the pigtail from the ke100. This rubber piece is from the Yamaha Virago that came with the headlight. And then of course you got your ring that holds it on. Now this headlight is now 12 volt and replaceable. I have to pause it for a second to get the ring off. Okay, so you twist the ring to get it off, and they fit on there kind of snug. And then I'm replacing the headlight. Instead of having a light bulb, okay, well I changed the light bulb with this, an LED light. And it's going to brighten up this bike quite well. And this headlight's for motorcycles. So, basically, the headlight, all the lights on the gauges, the marker lights, and everything else are going to be LED. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to be using now later on for a, what do you call it, the directional. There's a special directional to be used on it, so that it can flicker at the proper time, because it won't flicker if you use the factory one. So we're going to be doing all that type of modification. So this is really cool for you guys to see how I'm taking a Kawasaki. This is my own personal build. I'm calling it the ke102 build for those of you who are new to the channel. So I like to modify things and build things on my own and take parts and pieces from other bikes and make them make them one. And as you can see, everything fits together like a nice puzzle piece. You can see a brand new connector for the ignition switch and all that. So this is what I do. This is how I modify different things. And the original light bulb that came out of it is still good. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'll use it on another KE because they are very expensive bulbs. But they're nothing that... just a regular glass bulb. Which is kind of just a pain in the neck because you can't really do anything. When you put this on 12 volt, you're going to blow it right out. Here's another one I did right here, another conversion. But this one right here, I actually left the ears on it and just put the tabs on it. Those ears just aren't being used. That simple. So some of them I ripped the ears off, some I don't. This is one here that's been converted over 12 volt as well. And then you get your, I just did this one today. So you can see, this is the Yamaha ring right here. No, it's obsolete. Here's the piece I broke off, the little one. So, just did that today to make a fresh one. So the ignition switch is modified to fit the ke100 mount and the MB5 Honda gauges. Yamaha headlight on a Kawasaki ring. Yamaha grommet. Kawasaki pigtail. This is like a cluster of all kinds of bikes. And in fact, the exhaust muffler that's going to be used on this one is actually from a Suzuki on the tip. But you'll see that. It's going to look really nice and professional. So, I don't know if you guys got the theme of this yet, but I'm trying to make this look like a factory bike. So, everything is plug and play. All my connectors are going to plug into the factory harness and work as they should. Everything I do is plug and play. There's no cutting, splicing, stripping, soldering, modifying, those type of things, except for the 12 volt system, which we had to adapt to the pigtail. But pretty much everything on here, you can see up there is this top, which will be the top. That's going to fit right into that housing because that's where it came out of. That's the same headlight bucket that it came out of. And it's going to look pretty darn cool. So it's not set in there all the way. I got to get the two mounts for the sides and the top, and then screw it all in. I'm just using a couple of generic screws right now to put it together. But with it on the mount, you can see how it's going to look in the front. It's going to look factory, except for the screw sticking out right there, which I have to put the little spacer. There's a spacer that goes in there. There's three of them. One here, one on the side, on the other side, and then of course your gauges. That's what they're going to look like. Once again, very proud of them, like the way they came out. And then the mount on the sides, channeled for it. Just like that. There's going to be two orange reflectors that go here. And on the other side, all the factory stuff. So it's going to look extremely factory. There was a Honda. It was raised right here and said Honda. And I took that all off. I grinded that off with a file, and then I sanded it down with 2000 grit sandpaper, made it nice and smooth. So when I hit that with the plastic coat, you're not even going to see anything. But right here there was a chrome decal that said Honda on it, and I took that off. So that was the other modification that I had to do. I figured I'd do a talk in the middle of this right here to get you guys to see what I did and where we're at with it. Constructive build, this is actually going along very, very well. And because we're not anywhere near the tree, I'm not even worried. I'm not even concerned about the mounting. However, I was concerned about the headlight and this right here, but everything's LED now. The wiring's all set. Everything's all done. I got the speedometer cable right there. I got the tachometer cable coming for it, and I got the tach drive whenever that gets here. That's going to be a few weeks away. So before that comes in. So this is going to conclude the gauge cluster modification for the ke102 and headlight assembly. Everything is built, modified, except for these right here, which I'll do off camera, and put my two reflectors on it, the orange reflectors, which I might just, kind of throw this in a video and say, hey, check it out. But that's how it came out, and it came out really, really good and very, I'm very excited about it. 2 keys, matching locks, and yeah, that's the way we're going with that. So very, very happy. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to all my new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. And for all my old subscribers, thank you guys for hanging in there and watching these videos. And I hope you guys will learn a lot. We have a lot of stuff to do on this KE102 build, and I'm just getting started. Okay, I'm just getting started on it. So we're working from the whole harness. We got the engine. We got to do the braking on it. We got to finish off the exhaust system. I'm hoping to ride this thing by the end of the summer, if at all possible, which it is very possible. We got to get tires and figure out tires and everything else, because we're not going really aggressive, because this is more of a street bike than it is a, what do you call it, the on-off-road. I mean, it's going to be on-off-road, but we ride it more on the street. So we're going to see what we can do for this thing, get that headlight nice and bright. Going to do the directionals. Everything's going to be LED on the bike. And I really am really impressed with the way this gauges came out. Just came out awesome. So this is going to be a really nice, fun bike to ride. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Once again, please subscribe. Please share the channel. And by all means, please comment. I enjoy the comments, and I just hope that these builds help you guys out and inspire you guys to get out there and do things. And just so you guys know, I didn't know that the mounts that are underneath here, this was going to mount onto it. Okay, when I go into these things, I look at a few things, you know, make sure they have the same amount of lights, because I wanted to use something with a tachometer on this bike. And I knew the mounting had to be somewhat close, but I didn't know it was going to be dead on. So having that on there and doing very little to modify this to fit the bike was just a blessing. But, I mean, it goes to show you that a lot of these bikes, this is Honda, this is all Kawasaki, a lot of them, I don't know if they're built in the same factory or what's going on with them, or that someone's stealing the same thing, or someone keeps switching jobs, but a lot of this stuff is really, really interchangeable. And please keep that in mind. All the cable ends are the same, so I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't worried about the speedometer cable mounted onto it. I'm not worried about the tachometer cable. It's almost like they have industry standards on Japanese bikes. You know what I mean? But to have a KE100 or a KE102 with that type of gauge cluster is going to be really awesome. It looks good, it's sharp, and it's going to be bright, and I'm going to be able to see where my shift points are and really keep an eye on this engine. So that right there is a big plus for me. You know, it's one of those things where not many people, I don't know of anybody who's done this modification to this bike. I don't, but I am. So I'm going to modify it. It looks great on there. I'm super excited, and I'm glad to be able to share this with you guys, this build. So anyway, this is the gauge cluster, the second part of that whole thing, and it's all done. So everything else I'll do off camera, like I said, the screws and the reflectors. And then when I do another video, or a video down the road, I'll pop it in there so you guys can take a peek at it, see how it's coming along. All right, guys, thank you very much. Hey, and I'm going to ask you guys real quick, if you guys can comment, I would like to know what you guys feel about this. Now, the bike is Kawasaki green. I was thinking about this strip right here, going Kawasaki green all the way around it. But my question to you guys, would it throw everything else off, because everything else is black? So I'm going to let you guys vote on the green piece right there. Going right around. Just a green. Green was a half-inch. Yeah, about a half-inch. Half-inch stripe going all the way around. I think it would look pretty cool, but I don't know. We'll see what you guys think. Give me your feedback on that, please. Anyway, guys, I'm out. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye.